Last thing, this is the last episode for StreamYard, by the way, so I'm not going to worry about that. Welcome to Bracket Bash of the podcast. We take a bracket of 32, 64, 128 or more and banter our way down to a winner. I am your host this week, Freddie Fisher, and this is...
I am the bearded bastard, so you all can bask in all the bearded bastardness. And this is
Felix.
Oh, I'm Felix the Bastard from the Mod Squad Network. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Who's next?
Just Kate.
Felix didn't point.
Oh,
It's me. I'm Sharon. I'm only an occasional bastard, and I'm in Sweden, hence my screen name there of the Viking Diaries.
And I'm Kate.
Kate, by the way, because she's not going to plug her own shit on this one, is also my co-host over at the Recasting Call. So, speaking of, if you love the movie Matilda, we are currently looking for somebody to help us recast that movie. So it's a shit ton of fun, and it's actually kind of complicated at the same time. So if you enjoy a challenge, join us on that one. This week, if you can't tell from the picture that you originally clicked on in the first place, we are talking about Stanley Tucci. It is a Sweet 16 this week, so a couple of the lifelines are kind of fluctuated on this one. Number one is, since there's 5 people on the screen, 5 people voting, I'm voting this week. There's no pass to parcel, but we do have Steal a Vote and Blown a Load. Steal a Vote has gifted us from Q up into and including the semi-final round this week, because it's a Sweet 16, so the entire first round is gone, going directly into the second half of the show. If you want to take somebody's vote and claim it as your own, you can do that. You just have to make sure that, number one, they have not voted yet. It's the only rule. They have not voted yet, which means if they blew their load, speaking of, blowing a load means if you're one of the first people to go and don't want to be one of the first people to go, you can blow your load. This means you're going last. But if you blow your load and somebody steals your vote, they can still steal your vote, and you're just kind of screwed out. So go ahead and take that one up for advantage. Everybody has these lifelines. Steal a Vote, again, goes up into and including the semi-final round and third place if you decide to do so. Blown a Load, however, goes all the way to the end of the day. I'm going to start us off on this one. And Sharon brought us a movie. This movie was not originally in the bracket, but she brought it to us. And I'm kind of glad that she gets to finish out this particular matchup. It is either Big Night or Beethoven. I'm going to, since none of us has really heard of Big Night before, I'm going to give it to Sharon real quick to kind of explain to not only us, to our American listeners out there, what Big Night is.
Well, Big Night, it's an older film, so I can understand perhaps why maybe some of you youngsters haven't heard of it or seen it. It's from 1996, and I hate it. It pains me to say that 1996 is an older film, but it is one of the oldest films in the bracket, even though we just added it tonight. And it's Stanley Tucci, and he plays a lead along with Tony Shalhoub, and they run an Italian restaurant, and it goes all into they have a little bit of a competition. It's very much it's very much story driven. It's not a lot of action. I mean, it takes place in a restaurant, so it's not going to be super exciting for folks that are looking for an action movie, but it's a wonderful character study. And if you are kind of have followed Stanley Tucci's career now, where he is so active he's doing travel shows and he's doing food and cooking, and you can understand that makes so much more sense to me now, remembering his role in this film. So very early Stanley Tucci, very much about food. It's very much about New York. And I just feel like anybody who's a really big fan of his historically would notice that this movie was missing. So whether or not it makes it very far into the bracket, that's okay. But I'm glad that we at least got it in the list for the first round.
Well, I appreciate the passion as far as Big Night goes. And it also matches up with a movie that I'm not a huge fan of anyway, but that does bring up the entire age conversation because I'm pretty sure Beethoven came out in the early to mid 90s as well.
It is. You're right. It's from 90. It's even earlier. It's from
Yeah.
92.
So it's I'm not going to say it's the old. It may actually be the oldest movie on this entire
I
bracket.
think you may be right. I think you're absolutely right.
However, I'm not a fan of Beethoven. I'm not a fan of any of them,
Mm.
which is really weird because I love dogs. But I'm gonna go with I appreciate Sharon's passion on this one, so I'm gonna go with Big Night and give it a nod. Kevin, is it Big Night or Beethoven?
Yeah, I definitely enjoy the passion. However, I'm going to go Beethoven.
Fair enough, Kev.
Dun 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 dun. Felix.
I'm a huge dog person. Beethoven, I actually remember seeing this other one. I'm sorry, Sharon.
You don't have to apologize. It's okay.
Beethoven.
Great Kate is up. Kate, is it Beethoven or Big Night?
So once you started describing the movie, I have seen it and did not know that was the name of it, which is exactly what I thought happened. And I love that movie, and it's a big night for me. Also, Beethoven, I saw when I was 5, so it only been out for a couple of years at that point, and it made me cry. And I don't like that.
Oh, you didn't cry for the Big Night though.
No. I think by that point I was older when I watched that.
Good.
Which means it is a tie-breaking decision coming down to Sharon. Sharon, is it Big Night or Beethoven?
Big Night gets to go another round.
That's what's up. Happy for you.
I, for one, am shocked that you voted for Big Night.
I would have laughed my ass off. I'm like, really? I voted for Big Night for you, Sharon, and then you just go for Beethoven.
I was not gonna go for Beethoven. Beethoven was a fun film. I was old enough that I didn't cry. But I can understand why you did, Kate.
Just made me sad.
Yeah. I know. Kevin starts us off. Kevin, is it Julia and Julia or swing vote?
I'll go swing vote.
Gets a nod, Felix.
Swing vote as well.
Kate.
As Kate and Katya, I'm going to go with Julia and Julia.
Sharon.
As Kate and Katya. I loved Julia and Julia. He played Julia's husband, which, of course, pairing him with Meryl Streep in one of the title roles there. And I love the book. I love the film. And I am just so done with politics right now. I could not vote for a movie that involved a presidential election if you paid me money. I just couldn't do it right now. So it's Julia and Julia for me.
I agree with your sentiment on that one. However, I have been striving for years to get people just to go out there and vote. And one of the things that this entire movie, swing vote, I do appreciate the movie Julia and Julia. It's a good story and everything else. However, the principle that swing vote is quite literally one vote that decides everything is just a good idea on my part to tell people. It's like, hey, your vote actually does matter to a degree, type thing, and this is a good idea of how that entire thing happened. However, you can also tell us a movie because they've counted those votes pretty quickly.
They don't do that anymore.
No, like that happened like that night type thing, and even with the power outage and everything else, and I love the storyline where it's the younger generation instilling the idea that votes matter into the older generation.
It was the daughter pushing the dad, right?
Yep. Because the dad
was the dad.
It's almost like then if you were to vote for Julie and Julia, you would be empowering the votes of the two women that came before you.
Bing, bada bing, boom, boom. I love Kate. Why aren't we on together more often?
I was a fan of you too. Also,
So
Sweden, excellent choice right now.
I'm curious. You encourage people to go out and vote, and this is the movie Swing Vote. Do you encourage people to go out and swing as well?
There's
Only if there's upside down pineapples involved.
That's the only kind of pineapple, no?
As long as it doesn't belong on pizza, you should be fine.
This is true.
And Kate, I mean,
Agree.
I don't know if you've had this conversation, but I usually encourage women coming before me anyway. So there's that. However, my side in politics, and by the way, for everybody out there, because I've been asked this before, I did not vote for either of the two major parties this year. That's how much I actually like politics, is because I understand the ins and outs and everything involved with it, and I knew Trump was going to win Iowa hands down, unfortunately. So I kind of figured I'd give my vote to an actual change in the system, which is what Swing Vote did. And my vote, being a tie-breaking decision, actually swung the vote into the Swing Vote territory. So Swing Vote will be moving on to the next round. Felix starts us off. Felix, is it the live-action version of Beauty and the Beast or Midsummer's Night's Dream?
Oh man, I remember doing a scene from Midsummer's Night's Dream in theater. I have to go with that one. Midsummer.
It is by far my favorite Shakespeare play. It just is. Tempest is second, but Midsummer gets a vote off of that one. Kate, is it Midsummer's or Beauty and the Beast?
I mean, it's also one of my favorite Shakespeare plays as well, but it is, you put it up against one of the only things I will almost always default vote over, which is any iteration of Beauty and the Beast. As I sit next to a book box of Beauty and the Beast.
Oh my gosh.
I came prepared with props.
I can't wait.
I had a souffle waiting for Julie and Julia, but that got knocked out early, so I guess I'm just gonna eat it. Yeah, so I am gonna go Beauty and the Beast on this one.
I'm more of a cheesecake fan myself, but that's me. Sharon, is it Midsummer's Night's Dream or Beauty and the Beast?
I don't have the same attachment to Beauty and the Beast that Kate does. And the other thing that I thought I sort of noted when I was kind of doing the very little tiny bit of research that I do ahead of this show, was that Stanley Tucci actually played a character that was created for that film. I don't believe that character actually appeared in the original story.
He plays Puck, doesn't he?
No, I'm talking about Beauty and the Beast.
Beauty and the Beast.
Sorry, I thought you were talking about Midsummer's Night's Dream. It was like, no, he plays Puck, and Puck is like the main character.
No, I know he was Puck and that. No, my understanding is that from my research, and Kate, correct me, since you are obviously a Beauty and the Beast fan, I understood that Maestro Cadenza, this character that he played in that iteration of the film, was actually a character that didn't exist originally, that they created for that picture.
Yes, it's not a part of the original. I think it's 1991 that the film came out. It's not a part of that original film there, although you do see the piano. He's just not a fleshed out character, but he has always had a name. So they did enhance that character more. I think even in the stage production, they did not include Maestro Cadenza, which after you see him in the movie, it's a travesty that he's not more heavily involved.
Why wasn't he there all along?
He should have been a part of all of the additional sequels and prequels and midquels that came after the original movie.
They should have remade everything.
I agree. Beauty and the Beast, The Enchanted Christmas, starring Stanley Tucci.
All of that being said, I have to go with Midsummer Night's Dream because it's just such a fantastic story, and he was amazing as Puck. So I gotta go with that.
I'm going to tend to agree with you there, Sharon. Puck is probably one of my favorite Shakespeare characters of all time as well. I mean, he's a low-key Loki. All right? Like, and that wordplay was not planned. It just kind of happened. But he's a mischief maker, and I highly approve of anybody who has a tendency to just kind of cause mischief wherever they go, because what's life without whimsy type thing. However, I love Beauty and the Beast, especially the live action. I preferred the live action version over the original version.
Mm-hmm.
and I've gotten shit for that. I've gotten a lot of shit for that. I'm gonna go with Midsummer's Night's Dream though. Um, I don't think it's gonna make it out of the next round,
Mm-hmm.
but you never know. It does move on though. Kevin, finish this off.
I'm gonna
The
vote
mid-
for Emma Watson.
There's another vote for Beauty and the Beast.
Thank you, Kevin.
Midsummer moves
You're
on
welcome.
3-2 to the next
Cheers.
round. Kate, is it Robots or Jack the Giant Slayer?
I just realized I was muted. Sorry. Jack the Giant Slayer. My son actually really likes that movie.
Gets a nod, Sharon.
I also am going to go with Jack the Giant Slayer. I love the cast in that. I love the clever take on the old Jack and the Beanstalk fairy tale. And the action sequences, and I that's definitely gets my vote in this matchup.
Up to 2. I'm gonna go for Robots on this one, but it's not for Stanley Tucci. I'm gonna vote for Robin Williams
Aw.
because there was a Facebook thing the other day that said if there was, is there any celebrity death that actually like kind of made you cry or like affected you? For people who don't cry, affected you in a major manner. Robin Williams was one of my top 5 of that one. The people that actually affected me, like I had to stop and just sit for a minute type thing. And Robots is by far, it's not one of my favorite movies of his, but he has so many ad libs in the extras on that one that they couldn't include. So I'm gonna go with Robots on that one for Robin Williams. By the way, speaking of the entire rest in peace part, at the end of this year, as always, we have the entire memorial show for the people who have died this year. We have almost 35 people now on this list. So if you are one of these people out there who wants to join a show like that, you are welcome to message me and we can figure something out. Kevin, Robots, Jack the Giant Slayer.
I'll go Jack the Giant Slayer.
Gets to vote and the win. Felix.
I really like Robots. I have to go with that one.
3-2. It's our fourth split vote in a row. Sharon.
Yes, sir.
Muppets Most Wanted or Easy A?
This is a no-brainer for me, mostly because of the matchup. I think there's other films that I think Easy A would have done better against. But that is such a fun film, and he plays such a cool dad. He plays like the coolest dad in the world. And as we were talking a little bit before we started recording, for many of us, it sounds as though that was at least our first memory of Emma Stone. And it was, yeah, and it gives me a chance to do my Emma Stone impression. So that's going to be my vote. I have to go with the Easy A.
I'm a huge Muppets fan. I always have been, always will be. However, I don't have an opportunity to think with my pants very often on this show. I'm going to, because Emma Stone and Emma Watson, by the way, are both on my quote unquote hall pass list. So I am voting for Emma Stone. Easy A gets my nod. Kevin, is it Easy A or Muppets Most Wanted?
I love the Muppets. I really do. I'm gonna have to go Muppets.
Felix.
Again, like you guys, love the Muppets, grew up on the Muppets, but Easy A was such a better movie. It really was.
And Kate finishes up.
Yeah, it sounds like we're kind of a bit of a broken record. I also love the Muppets, but his acting and his character in Easy A is just so he's barely in the movie, and he's still one of the most quotable people in the movie, and he's part of what makes it so enjoyable to watch. We still, whenever I have a friend who's adopted, whenever she mentions that she's adopted, we're like, "Who told you?" And that's a beautiful memory I have to thank him for if I ever meet him.
Easy A moves on 4-1 to the next round. I start this one off as either Tale of Despero or Devil Wears Prada. I hate this matchup. I made this board. I have no other person to blame but myself on this one, but I absolutely hate this matchup because I'm a huge fan of the movie Tale of Despero. However, I know people in general love the movie Devil Wears Prada. I don't necessarily agree with them on that one. I think there's better movies out there. But the Tale of Despero is a movie that I grew up on. I still watch. My kids watch it when we can find it every now and again. So I'm going to go with Tale of Despero just to break up the sweep. Kevin, is it Devil Wears Prada or Tale of Despero?
It would not have been a sweep anyway because I do not like The Devil Wears Prada. It's boring to me. So I'll go with Despero.
I would have known that I would have stolen a vote. Felix, Devil Wears Prada or Tale of Despero?
This is another one. I'm going to have to go with the better movie. At least in my eyes, I have to go with Devil Wears Prada. Sorry, Kevin.
Kate?
Yeah, when I think of Stanley Tucci, The Devil Wears Prada is usually what pops into my head just because he is so good in that movie. And he is the heart in that movie that makes you fall in love with it. So I'm gonna go with that one.
Which means it is a tie-breaking decision coming down to Sharon. Sharon, we are in the second half of the first round. Do you want to know who's facing in the next round?
No, don't even need to know. I have never ever seen. I will volunteer. I have never seen The Tale of Despero. I think I was a young adult when it came out. I did not have children. I was, no, I wasn't even that young of an adult. Never mind. I was a regular old middle-aged adult, and I hadn't seen it. So I don't feel like it's really fair. I can't really vote for a film that I haven't seen. I understand it's a kid's film too. And I agree with Kate. I feel like Stanley Tucci's character was kind of the heart and soul of that film. I mean, everybody talks about how amazing Meryl Streep was, and she was great. And everybody talks about the two women, that the two secretaries that were dueling. It was a fun picture. I have no interest, as you can probably tell, I have no interest in fashion whatsoever, but I loved the pace and the energy. And that film introduced me to a world that I would not really know much of anything about otherwise. And I thought he was terrific in it. So I am going to have to go with The Devil Wears Prada.
Really, I wish I would have stolen a vote on that one, but I didn't get to. All right.
Yeah.
Devil Wears Prada moves on 3-2 to the next round. Faces another 3-2, though. Kevin starts us off. Kevin, is it Burlesque or the first Hunger Games movie?
You know what? Burlesque. No real reason behind it, just Burlesque. I like the sound of it.
Gets a vote. Felix, Burlesque, Hunger Games.
The very first Hunger Games?
Yep.
Original.
OG.
I really didn't like any of them, but the first one was just, I could barely get through it. So I'm going to have to go with that. But before I vote, I wanted to ask Kate earlier, and I forgot. What did you think of Ron Perlman's and Linda Hamilton's Beauty and the Beast from back in the day?
I don't think I actually ever saw that.
That was a TV show on CW, wasn't it?
Not the CW. It was CBS or something. It was like way back in the day, though.
Yeah.
What year would it have been on, roughly?
Late 80s, early 90s-ish.
I was not alive.
Maybe that's why you don't know
that.
That
Hurts me.
That doesn't mean you haven't seen it.
I was born in 1990, so I might have missed that. And we had food stamps, but not cable. So I also probably would not have seen it otherwise. If PBS picked it up, though, solid shot. I might have seen it at some point. But now I have another iteration to go watch. There
really you go.
That.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Right next to Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. So just for continuity reasons, is it The Hunger Games or Burlesque?
Hunger Games.
Gives a vote. Kate, Burlesque, Hunger Games.
I love the Caesar Flickman character, but I feel like once again in Burlesque, he brings more to the film overall. He's not just the comic relief.
Sharon?
I'm going to go with this is a little bit of a tougher matchup for me. But The Hunger Games was more of a story that appealed to me, I guess, than the storyline in Burlesque. And so I would have to say I will go with the original Hunger Games.
I was almost super surprised on that one. I'm going to go for Hunger Games. I kind of figured Hunger Games would beat the hell out of Burlesque, but Flickerman, dude, that was the best character in the movie. Like, there's a couple of them that comes close, but like that's Flickerman was just kind of the presenter. Like, if I ever did a stage show, kind of the presenter I would kind of want to be, like a game show host type thing. And then could have the ability to be serious, like at the drop of a hat. But I'm gonna go with that. 3-2. Hunger Games moves on to the next round. Felix, finishing up round one, is it Shall We Dance or Lucky Number 11?
What was the end of that one called? Lucky Number?
Slevin. Slevin. It's the guy's last name. Josh Hartnett, I believe, is the person who.
Oh, Josh Hartnett's in that. I was gonna say I haven't seen it, but I love Josh Hartnett.
There's a slew. Like if you look it up, there's a lot of famous people in this movie. So
yeah, I'll go with that one.
Lucky Number 11 gets a vote. Kate, Lucky Number 11 or Shall We Dance?
I'm gonna go with the slew of Slevins.
Sharon?
I have this odd feeling that this one might kind of be a little bit of a sweep. So maybe what is Lucky Number 11 up against?
Shall We Dance?
Shall We Dance? Yeah. I'm gonna give a nod to Shall We Dance only for Richard Gere.
Gets a vote.
And the
Yeah.
gerbil.
That's fair.
I'm gonna finish it out. I'm gonna go for Lucky Number 11 on this one. It's a damn good movie. It really is. It surprised a lot of people because it wasn't promoted very well. But you look at the cast and everything else, and it's like The Expendables, but with a better storyline. Like a much better storyline.
Yeah, my understanding is that
storyline.
Yeah, it was sort of. I think a lot of people went into the theater thinking they were going to see some kind of a comedy, like maybe a dark comedy, and then it turned out to be something completely different and surprising to them.
Kevin finishes out. Was it Shall We Dance or Lucky Number 11?
11.
So 4-1 moves on to the next round. Be right back right after this break. We have a thank you to review this week there, guys.
Yay.
Nice.
Evening, bastards. The year's about over, and I am dreading the holiday BS with my extended family. Thankfully, I have noise canceling headphones and a backlog of bastard shows to drown out all this small talk. So thank you. 5 stars on Podbean and more if I could. My question this week: you are allowed to travel back and forth to any fictional world as you please. You can also bring anything you can physically carry back and forth at will. What world do you choose? I'm going to start with Kevin on this one.
You know, I've been trying to think of a world the whole time we've been doing this show, and I really cannot come up with one. So I'm just going to go with DuckTales.
It just did the little woo.
That would make you super rich.
Yeah. It was either that or Cool World, so I'll go with being rich.
Felix.
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Chocolate. Need I say more? And I'd take Cujo, my little dog, with me.
Okay.
I would go, and this is probably no surprise to anybody who's met me before. I'm going to go with the world of Harry Potter, especially since whatever I bring there works. So my cell phone would still work while I was there.
I've been there.
So not into the world
I
of
was
Beauty and
there
the
a
Beast?
couple weeks ago.
Sharon.
I would go to Camelot but only if I could go as a man.
I agree with that.
I
never
would
thought
not
of
want.
adding that caveat.
I
Yeah.
would not have wanted to be Guinevere. I would not have wanted to be a damsel in distress, but I would have really had a hell of a good time being a knight. I think that would have been a cool thing to do. So I'll take Camelot
That's
as a man.
There's a huge problem with this question, and that's the fact that it's so vast.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. You could go a
There-
million different directions with it.
There's million different
Agreed.
directions. Listen to your guys' responses. I think I'm gonna go with How to Train Your Dragon,
All right.
because I mean it's dragons, and it's good dragons. So like I'm not going Game of Thrones dragons because those are
Mhm.
kind of not well behaved dragons, but at least in the DreamWorks version of a movie, they're well behaved dragons and they're actually kind of fun to deal with. So
They're making a live action version.
I know, and I don't approve of it. It just having a live action version of freaking Toothless is just not my cup of tea.
But it's still not
Um,
even that live action because they didn't make a real Toothless. It's like 50% live action. It's just
Yeah.
live.
I mean,
Or
they
just
do have a
action.
budget.
One of the two. They have the budget, but it's not like they're out there like Jurassic Parking it up and creating real dragons. I feel like live action in that case.
The trailer we just
Slight
saw, it
misnomer.
seemed okay-ish. And it looked like shot by shot as well.
That's
Of
I looked like that when I was thinking the same thing. Like it's
Speaking of Jurassic Park, by the way, for anybody out there, you guys know that Bracketology, the Facebook page, is going away. What you guys don't know is that the dropped last night was the final matchup, the final matchup of the entire thing, because nobody decided to take it over. It's Jurassic Park versus Back to the Future. First one.
Back to the Future wins that one. Should win that one.
It's
Yeah.
winning right now, but that's the winner of the first winners bracket versus the winner of the second winners bracket goes against each other, and that's how it goes. And to be perfectly honest, I'm okay with either one of them winning.
you can't hate.
I voted for Back to the Future because I think it's a better movie, but
Mm.
then again, and I think they're both Spielberg movies. So there's that one. So either way, Spielberg wins.
Yeah, but Back to the Future does have like 50% less bisected bodies.
True.
That depends how time travel works.
You mean getting splinched in the world of Harry Potter? I might have a problem.
Sounds kinky.
Mhm.
Anything's kinky if you're into it.
This is true.
Only the first time. Only the first time. Harley's in comments, by the way, saying hello. Harley, would you put in comments to see if you're okay or not? Because we've all been thinking about you this week. She went through a massive surgery this
Oh.
last Monday, so we've been thinking about you. At least I've been thinking about you. So there's that. We have a couple guests this week. Felix, tell us about yourself.
Hi, I'm Felix.
Okay.
I'm Felix from the Mod Squad Network.
There you
speaking
go.
of Harley's part of our show, so is Kevin here. We have a movie show where we talk movies, horror show where we talk horror movies, a gamer show where we talk about gamers stuff like games and so forth. Conversations show where we interview other content creators. We tell them the same exact. We ask them the same exact questions, and we just love seeing the different answers we get from that. And every Saturday we have a live at 8 p.m. EST with a giveaway. So that's Smart Squad Network YouTube.
My lovely co-host Kate, what you been up to there, dear?
So, still Kate, still co-host of the Recasting Call. I'm also a stand-up comedian. I actually host a ongoing show at Someplace Else in Waterford Works, New Jersey, last Sunday of every month at 7 p.m. With the exception of this month, unfortunately, we are taking November off, but we will be back in December for our post-Christmas special. And I'm also a children's book author. You can find copies of Mommy Needs Coffee and Hot Mess Express. Can't believe I forgot the name of my own book. Aptly named Hot Mess Express. Are both available on paperback on Amazon, and you can also get Mommy Needs Coffee for Kindle as well.
And of course, our multiple time guest, Sharon.
I just won't go away. I just keep coming back to bug everybody.
It's a gift that keeps on giving.
Oh, you're very kind. You're very kind. Well, I do primarily audio. I host a show a couple times a week on an app called Station Head, and I keep something's dinging me. I don't know what that is. And an app called Station Head. It's kind of like a live radio. It's a live radio show, and we do that on Wednesdays and on Sundays. Actually, earlier this evening, I hosted a show called Sweden Sunday Brunch. Because even though it's 6 p.m. my time, it's brunch time in most places in the United States, sometime between noon and 9 a.m. And then my latest thing is I'm doing a show on a brand new 90s decade music internet radio station called 90s Plus at 90splus.us. And so I'm on there a couple of times a week as well. All called everything. And if you search the Viking Diaries online, you'll find me doing all kinds of goofy stuff based here in Sweden.
And everybody else out there wondering about Harley and her surgery, she says, I'm great. We are happy to hear that there, Harley.
Good.
Welcome back for round 2. It looks like Kate starts us off. Kate, is it Big Night or Easy A?
I'm going to go with Big Night, even though I feel like I made a nice strong argument for Easy A earlier.
Gets a vote, Sharon.
I love both of these films so much, but as I am the whole reason that Big Night is even in the list, and I'm actually delighted it made it through the first round, as much as I love Easy A, and as much as I hate giving up the opportunity to do my Emma Stone impression, I'm going to vote.
Can I still vote?
Not yet.
Yeah, not yet.
I'm gonna go for Big Night.
Big Night gets a vote. I'm gonna go for Easy A. I appreciate the enthusiasm for Big Night. It is definitely on my watch list now, which is 2.5 miles long by this point. But even without thinking with my pants on this one, like this movie is fantastic. It's a good kind of a pulse of what not really what teenage life is like, but doing something for a friend that is actually kind of detrimental to yourself, and putting yourself putting your friends before yourself type thing, and I can appreciate that. So Easy A gets my vote. Kevin, is it Easy A or Big Night?
Easy A is definitely the better movie. However, I'm a bastard, so I'll vote for the Sharon's movie.
Big Night gets a nod and the win. Felix, finish this out. Is it Easy A or Big Night?
Easy A is a better movie. I have to go with Easy A.
3-2. You are a bastard there, Kevin. Sharon starts us off. Sharon.
But I love him for it.
Sharon, is it Swing Vote or Devil Wears Prada?
I can't go back on my original argument against swing vote. And I like Costner. I really do. And I think that it was a great role for Stanley Tucci, as a campaign manager, a political advisor. But I'm still I'm still hurting too hard. I'm still hurting too hard from the election. I enjoyed the hell out of The Devil Wears Prada. And you want to know something really interesting? Here's a bit of trivia that maybe most of you already know, but actually Stanley Tucci is married to Emily Blunt's sister,
Really?
which means that Stanley Tucci and the guy who starred in the American version of The Office are brothers-in-law, which I just think is a remarkable bit of trivia.
Jim?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jim. The actor's name is escaping me right now.
John Krasinski.
John
Yeah.
Krasinski. There you go. Yeah, John
Great.
Krasinski and
Great
Stanley
director.
Tucci. They are brothers-in-law because the Blunt sisters, Emily Blunt's sister, is married to Stanley, and they met on the set
cool.
of The Devil Wears Prada. So there's some kick-ass trivia for you, my friends. Devil Wears Prada gets my vote. I've stunned Freddie into silence.
No, it's not that. I'm looking at the board here, and I don't think I'm going to need to use my seal of vote at all
Oh,
for the rest of it, because I just don't want Devil Wears Prada to win this entire thing. And
so
eventually,
he's plotting that right now.
no.
He's strategizing.
Eventually, Devil Wears Prada is going to, even if it meets up in the finals, is going to have to go up and possibly knock out Big Night.
Wow, hey, come on! I'm delighted that Big Night's come as far as it has.
So am I. So, without revealing how the board looks, I'm going to steal a vote, and so it's going to be 2 votes going for swing vote. And just because I make sure to call my co-host a badass every single week, I'm going to be stealing my badass co-host Kate's vote on this one.
Okay.
Well, I, for one, am shocked and appalled and had no idea that you would take the one person here who was definitely going to vote for her second favorite movie to make it to the finals. I cannot, I'm astounded. I have no words, and yet I said a lot of them already.
Kevin, is it swing vote or Devil Wears Prada?
I like to go swinging.
Felix?
Swing vote.
I didn't need to use it.
He didn't need
Kate.
to use it. He burned his stolen vote.
That's all right. Kate, just for continuity reasons, what would have your vote been?
My vote would have been to steal your vote and turn it into Devil Wears Prada.
I mean, it wouldn't have mattered. It still would have gone 3-2.
I don't care. Just let me have this.
Swing vote. Swing vote moves on 4-1 to the next round. Now, granted, if I had the ability, if I went first, I would have stolen Sharon's vote, but I didn't go first on this one, so there's that.
And I'd already voted.
Yep.
And that was kind of a sure thing. I get it.
Well, no, I actually you weren't, because I wasn't paying attention when you were talking before. So, swing.
Wow, that sounds awfully familiar, Freddie.
I got a lot of shit going on. Harley's in comments, by the way. She's going for swing vote as well. I appreciate you there, Harley. I do start this one off though, and I'm gonna pay you back there, Kate, because I love both of these movies. It's either Midsummer's Night's Dream or The Hunger Games. Again, Midsummer's Night's Dream is my favorite, like beyond favorite Shakespeare type thing. I grew up in the theater. I'm well versed in what all this stuff is. I don't even think the first Hunger Games is the best of the Hunger Games series. So I'm going to go with Midsummer's Night's Dream on this one. Gives my vote. Kevin, Midsummer's Night's Dream or Hunger Games?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the Hunger Games. I'll go Midsummer's Night Dream.
Felix.
Midsummer all the way.
Kate.
Yeah, I'm voting for my boy Puck.
And
Oh
Sharon.
my goodness. Well, I don't do we want is there something special that happens as if it's a sweep, or should I part of me, and did Stanley Tucci have a fantastic hairdo in the Hunger Games? Or
Oh,
was
it's
am I
more like
thinking
I mean,
it
he
was
had a good
imported
hairdo
hair.
in Midsummer's too. So
that's true? He had those little horns. I'll make
Yep.
it a sweep. It's Midsummer's Night's Dream.
You know what's
up.
special? What happens if we have a sweep is everyone has to give me $20.
Oh, is that how it works?
That's what happens. Yeah,
hey,
that's
80
why
bucks
I'm
is 80
only
bucks.
rarely a guest.
You're expensive.
I'm worth it unless someone takes my vote.
I'll be paying for that for months. Kevin, finishing out round 2. Is it Jack the Giant Slayer or Lucky Number 11?
I'll go Jack.
Gets a vote. Felix.
Slevin.
Kate.
Can't do Jack the Giant Slevin, can I?
That'd be quite a mashup.
There's a joke somewhere in there.
No, there is. I wasn't going to touch it.
We'll go with the regular size Slevin.
Well, as long as it's Lucky. Sharon, is it Lucky Number 11 or Jack the Giant Slayer?
I voted. This is so hard, you guys. This got too hard too fast, and
That's
I
what she
rarely
said.
ever complain
That's what she
about
said.
that. But so I will go with Lucky Number 11 also.
Gets a third and a fourth vote. It's 4-1. Lucky moves on. Jack and the Beanstalk is a really hard story to make a movie out of.
Yes.
And so I appreciate the effort that they put into it. There you go. That they put into it. And I'm also still kind of mad that Jack the Giant Slayer beat out Robots and beat out Robin Williams. So I'm going to go for Lucky on that one. 4-1 moves on to the next round. We'll be right back right after this break. Kevin, as a new bastard, you get to kick off the entire Bastards ads. What you been up to there, sir?
Oh man, other than being here on Bracket Bastards, I'm also on the Mod Squad Network with Felix. He covered all of that, but I'm going to talk about my other show, Back to the Retro Review, where I do 70s, 80s, and 90s and 2000s movie reviews. I also do tech reviews and have a budget podcasting podcast that comes out every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Central Time. So if you're interested in budget gear, go check that out as well.
With a giveaway at the last Thursday of every month.
Yep, with a giveaway at the last Thursday of every month.
And as far as your head bastards goes, myself and Kate have a show called The Recasting Call. The next couple of months, in the last couple of months before this, we've redone movies like Any Given Sunday, Scream, original Scream, and Home Alone, which will be out the first Thursday of December, and that is done. The cast list for this movie is definitely a top 5 of the cast lists that we've done in the past. I do agree that the Men in Tights episode is still like top notch, the one that we had, but this is so eerily close in funness to go ahead and do that. In the next couple months, we have Matilda, which we are going to be recasting shortly. So if you want to be part of that, go ahead and contact me. We will get you in. We do have an open spot. And for the month of February, we are doing the 90s version of Romeo and Juliet. And coming up in March, we're doing something that we haven't done in the past. We were going to be recasting a TV show. And we're doing a modern age version of the Golden Girls.
Oh my!
So stay tuned. Stay tuned for that one, and we have movies going on beyond that as well. So that's the Recasting Call. we have a whole bunch of episodes of Bastard Backstage in the past. Go ahead and check those out. Hopefully, eventually, I can get Felix on that one as well. And sad news, but today, as we record, the final matchup on Bracketology is officially live. It is Jurassic Park versus Back to the Future of the entire winner of this entire thing. So
both of those are great movies, man.
Both of those are great movies, and they both should be in the finals this entire thing. So I appreciate it. It's been 5 years since this entire thing has been going on, and I'm pretty sure we started it in November that time too. So that's kind of what it is. But I appreciate it, and from the bottom of my heart, from the Bracketology page, which is where this entire thing started, thank you. Welcome back to round 3 and beyond. By the way, I have a load to blow. Kevin, Felix, Kate, and Sharon both have Steela votes and loads to blow as well. As far as Steela, blowing a load goes all the way to the end, but Steela votes, since this is a Sweet 16 episode, you can use it up into and including the semifinal matchup. So you have 4, 5, you have 7 matchups left to go. This is the last time I'm going to remind you on that one. Kevin starts us off.
Can you explain that again for me? Because I tried stealing a vote. I didn't do it right. So
okay.
How do you go about?
Well, I'm going to correct myself too, because I was counting this off. You have 3 times. You have the ability, 3 options to use to steal a vote, and that's it. Steal a vote. You can steal somebody's vote as long as they are going after you, or they haven't voted yet. But you have to do it on your turn.
Okay, on your turn, and that has to be
on your turn. Like, for instance, if Kevin wanted to steal Sharon's vote on this next one coming up, he is more than able to do so. Mm-hmm. Kevin, is it big night or swing vote? And now you know why I said that.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, you know what? I will steal Sharon's vote, and I'll take a swing vote.
Fair enough.
Just because I need to use my
steal
a vote.
Swing vote gets 2 votes off of that one. Felix, is it swing vote or big night?
Winner, chicken dinner. It's got to go. I have to go with swing vote on that one.
Gets another one. Kate.
Sorry, Sharon.
In the interest of getting justice for Sharon, Freddie, I'm going to steal your vote.
I kind of figured you're going to.
Oh!
And it's going to be a big night.
Yay!
I didn't see that coming, or else I would have stolen your vote.
I was holding my breath while you were talking, waiting for it to happen and be like, I'm never going to get to vote again, which is the opposite of swing vote. Kind of ironic that would happen.
Swing vote does move on 3-2. Ironically enough, swing vote has moved on 3-2 in every single matchup so far, which is exactly why I find the swing vote movie appropriate for that one. It does move on to the finals.
Is there an opportunity for a pearl necklace this episode?
No, pearl necklace. Nobody even got out of the first round with a sweep. So. Kate, have you been here since we've had the pearl necklace or not?
Yeah, I was on an episode where we had pearl necklace live.
Okay, so Felix hasn't. What a pearl necklace is? And no, I did not name this. It was 5 of us. It was 4 girls and me on this episode. It was a Disney episode, by the way, and we've never had it happen. We've gone through about 150 episodes where not a single selection has gone through the entire show without a vote against it. It means it got swept through the entire thing. I was going to call it a Cinderella story or a Cinderella episode, considering it was a Disney thing that it originally happened on. No, the 4 girls on this particular episode decided, since we have the Bukake moment, or the Bukake episode, which is when everybody blows their load in the same turn, they decided to call it a pearl necklace, which, if you need to look up what a pearl necklace is, feel free to do so. Just don't do it on a company computer. So, hopefully that answers your question. Speaking of sweeps, Felix starts us off. Is it Midsummer's Night's Dream or Lucky Number 11?
Midsummer.
Gets a vote. Kate
Midsummer.
gets another one. Sharon.
I'm on Midsummer as well.
Since it's already moving on, I'm going to vote for Harvey on this one because I know Lucky Number 11 is one of his favorite movies. So I will be breaking up that sweep. Kevin, is it Lucky Number 11 or Midsummer's Night's Dream?
Midsummer's Night Dream.
I do appreciate that it's going on though because I do love that movie. Third place. So the last time to steal a vote, it's either Lucky Number 11 or Big Night. And Kate starts us off on this one.
It's Lucky Number 11 or Big Night?
Yep.
I'm going to do Big Night.
Big Night gets a vote. Sharon?
I'm going to steal a vote. But I don't know whose vote to steal. It's the problem. I'm going to steal Felix's vote, and we'll put them both up for Big Night.
Which means Big Night does get the win off of this one. Felix, just out of curiosity, what would have your vote been?
Honestly, it would have been the other one. So
It would have been Lucky. I would have gone for Big Night as well. I think Sharon deserves that.
I didn't need to steal.
And it's always appropriate to give Sharon her flowers because she's always a joy to have on the show. Kevin, possible sweep, is it Big Night or Lucky Number 11?
We'll give it a sweep. We'll give it a sweep. Why not?
All right.
Another $20 for Keith.
Kate's making out like a bandit.
Can I change my vote then? Shit.
It's a legally binding contract. We do accept Venmo or wampum, so it's up to you.
All right. Sharon starts us off. Sharon, it is the finals.
I'm drum rolling.
And nobody has blown a load. This is the last opportunity to do so. Is it Swing Vote or Midsummer's Night's Dream?
Gonna stick to my guns, and I can't vote for Swing Vote. It's gonna be Midsummer Night's Dream for me.
Gets a vote. I'm gonna blow my load.
He wants to wait.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait. Kevin, Midsummer's Night's Dream or Swing Vote?
Blowing it.
I knew it.
Whoa.
Felix.
So I can steal Kate's vote. And
Nope. Nope.
She's after me though.
Steal votes are completely off the board.
Last round was the last time you could have done it.
Last opportunity.
Then I could blow the load then, right?
Yep.
I'll do that.
All right. And Kate
Three
finishes
loads
out.
blown.
That's
I
three.
think it's fucking amazing. You guys all blew your loads.
All the guys,
And
man.
I'm going to go with Midsummer Night's Dream.
Gets another one. So Kate and Sharon are the only two that have actually no. Kevin and myself are the only two that use both lifelines. Felix did get his blown a load in, but Kate and Sharon did not. So it's split 50-50 on that one. I appreciate that I've gotten Swing Vote this far, and it does deserve the win. However, my theater background and the fact that I absolutely love this play has got to swing that vote into Midsummer's Night's Dream. Kevin, Midsummer's Night's Dream or Swing Vote?
Well, since you voted for that, maybe my vote will swing the vote and go Swing Vote.
Felix, Swing Vote, Midsummer's Night's Dream.
Midsummer.
It wouldn't have, by the way, because with with my vote, Midsummer already won that. But Midsummer moves on 4-1, wins this entire thing. I appreciated that. I think that's a first time of like an actual old time. I'm gonna say old timey.
Scripts by
An old timey
Shakespeare.
Shakespeare type movie that was written back then has actually won anything on this show. So it's good to have a little bit of class for once.
It was a big night.
It was a big night.
It was a big night for Stanley Tucci and his role in Midsummer Night's Dream.
Midsummer Night's Dream wins the show. Swing Vote came in second place. Big Night gets a sweep for third place, knocking out lucky number 11. That is our show this week there, guys. Kevin, where can people find you?
You can find me at the Mod Squad Network in the official Mod Squad Network community or in the Back to the Retro Review community. You can also find me on Instagram at Back to the Retro Review, one word.
You can find Felix at
Mod Squad Network on just about anything out there, but mainly YouTube.
You can find my lovely co-host Kate at.
So you can find me anywhere online at Kate Laverne, as well as up and down the East Coast at different stand-up shows. You can check Facebook or Instagram for postings of what's coming up next. And again, as always, last Sunday of every month at someplace else in Waterford Works.
Still my favorite name for a fucking bar. Just is. You can find Sharon at
the vikingdiaries.com, where kind of everything all comes together, but on Instagram, which is sometimes fun for some people, at viking.diaries, and that's also the same for Threads. If anybody's hanging out on Threads, I'm there as well.
And I'm your host, Freddie Fisher. You can find me at that on Facebook. While you're on Facebook, check out Bracket Bastards and Bracketology for the last remaining days of their page. I'm going to leave it up just for people who want to check it out or eventually take it from me type thing. And I'll probably go ahead and throw Bracket Bastard stuff up on there too, just for the people who are part of that page get to actually get to check out the Bracket Bastard stuff. On Twitter, I'm at Fisher777. We're all at Bracket Bastards. And on Instagram, as always, you can find me at Can't Lick Me, not one word. Next week, we celebrated Stanley Tucci this week. Next week, we are going on completely opposite side, but still a character actor. We are talking about the great Matthew Lillard.
That's going to be a good one.
So look forward to that one. I think we still have spots open if anybody out there wants to go ahead and join us. And I try to end every single show with a quote regarding whatever we're talking about. This is a quote from Stanley Tucci himself, and it says, it is said that Negronis, hopefully I pronounced that right, Negronis are like breasts. 1 is not enough. 2 is perfect. 3 is just too many. And today I'm tempted to see what happens if I drink 4. I will leave you guys on that note. See you next week.
See ya.